And more connected community. It's a vision for a better future.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Garrett here from Born2beRad, and we are going live tonight to discuss the hype, the movie that everybody's talking about right now, and that is Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, aka Beetlejuice 2, which is like what, 36 years in the making, I guess. Is that correct? 2024. Oh my God, it's a long time coming. And this has been something that's been talked about forever, about probably 35 years, to be quite honest with you. And it's finally here. It's finally debuted, and everybody seems to be checking it out. And I got to see it on Saturday. So what day? Last night I saw it. And I figured I was going to do a video on it. I wasn't really sure because everybody has done one. It kind of feels like when you see this movie, even on a Saturday, you're already like way late to the party on this. So I was like, I don't know if I should do a review, but I'm like, I'm sure people want to hear my thoughts. I honestly have only watched one review so far. I have one on tap that I'm going to watch, but I've only watched one. And, you know, the consensus of just being on Instagram and Facebook and whatnot, it seems like most people really like this. Based on the one review that I saw, they seem to pretty much like it too. But yeah, I want to get into it. I want to talk about it. I'm going to go very spoiler free. Let's relax a little bit. I'll get to the chat as we go. Please do not put spoilers in the chat because in case anybody has not seen it yet, it still is the opening weekend. So I really don't want to get into spoilers. I really don't want to get into plot lines of the movie. But I just want to kind of tell you my thoughts. I'm going to go into a little bit of a rant tonight as well, which I don't like to do. I hate doing rants. I feel like it's pointless and stupid to get that upset over something. But there is one thing I do want to do a little rant about tonight. So if you like rants, which you don't usually get here on the show, the last time I did one, everybody seemed to love it. So you might have one coming tonight. So stick around. I will get to the chat. I see people popping in left and right. And again, I will get to you, but let's relax. Again, it was last night. I went to that theater. I had my popcorn ready to go. I've got that ready. I have my Zagnut ready as well. I've got the drinks all set up, ready to go. So again, that's how I felt last night. That's what I've got going on here now. I'm all set up, waiting and ready to talk about Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, which again, I do not like to get hyped about a movie. I really don't, because I feel like 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty disappointed. So when it comes to movies, I like to go in pretty straightforward. No bias, just kind of like, it is what it is. Let's see what happens. Now with this movie, as far as the trailers, I saw the first trailer, the teaser, the one where he pops up, says it's showtime. You didn't really get a lot. So that was all I saw about this. Now I'd seen images. Obviously the hype for this was huge. I mean, look at all this merch I just showed you. We had cookies, we had soda, Fanta collaborated with them. You had popcorn buckets coming out the ass. I got handbooks of the recently deceased. I got popcorn buckets over here. I got gravestone buckets over here that light up. Look at all this. Like, I'm a sucker for promo stuff, guys. And I'm a huge Beetlejuice fan. I mean, I was since I was a kid. Saw it for the first time in the drive-in. And if you want to know a little bit more about that story and you want to know a little bit more about Beetlejuice and other things, after this is over, make sure you go to my channel and check out the video I dropped yesterday morning with Mel at My Kilo Podcast, 1/3 of the Rad Pack. We talk about 10 movies that you need to check out if you are a fan of Beetlejuice. Some real good picks. Her and I compiled a list. We started out with many more than 10. We narrowed it down to 10. We gave you a couple honorable mentions, but hopefully that video opens your eyes to some movies that are in a similar vein or tone as this. So definitely check that video out. I thought it was really fun. And I definitely want you guys to check it out. And again, I will get to the chat, but I want to get this over with first. Now, I said I'm laid back. I've got my soda. I've got my candy. I've got my popcorn. I am ready to go. So, now when it comes to Beetlejuice, there are positives and negatives, I think, when it comes to the movie. Number one, I did get myself hyped up. I did get myself hyped, and I couldn't help it. I mean, the promo items alone were just getting me excited for this movie because you don't see it as often as we did back in the 90s. I mean, now popcorn buckets seem to be like the new fad, so every movie's getting one. But this was a little bit different because, you had the different Fanta drinks that people were checking out. There was multiple popcorn buckets. There was like I got a little bob head drink cup or whatever. Like, I mean, there was just so much cool stuff. And when it comes to Beetlejuice, the characters are really wild and zany, and they're just rememberable characters like Bob and Beetle and all that stuff. So when I did see this trailer, now maybe I did see another trailer besides just the quick one, because I did see a trailer that showed a woman walking around all stitched up, and they kind of made it believe that that was Beetlejuice's wife. And I can remember saying to somebody like, I don't know about that. Like, that to me doesn't seem like a good story. She doesn't really fit it for me. Like, she doesn't look like she belongs in that movie. And that was just the trailer. I think there was another scene in the trailer where I saw an airplane, and I'm like, oh, if that's CGI, that doesn't look good. And then we found out, listen, this is going to be all practical effects. Tim Burton said it's going to be all practical. So then I was like, okay, well, I don't know what that CGI plane was in the trailer. So yeah, I did see another trailer for it, but there was stuff in the trailer I was like, okay, that looks pretty cool. But I was uncertain, but with all the hype, I was like, what, this has to be pretty good. It's just gotta be. I know it's something Michael Keaton has been wanting to do for so long. And I will say this, it was pretty much 90% practical effects, which I appreciate so much. It's like, it opens my eyes to things like we can do this, like Hollywood. We can do this kind of stuff and have it look awesome. We don't need to just have green screens all the time. I mean, the stuff that I saw in this movie brought me back to the time when I was so infatuated with movies, when they were embedded in my brain in the 80s and the 90s as a kid, and seeing these things on screen again really just excited me. The whole underworld aspect of it, seeing these characters, seeing all these different effects that they were pulling off, such a cool place. I was really happy with that. Now, we had a lot of returning characters. We had one character that did not return. A lot of us know why, but they did reference that character in this movie kind of a little bit too much, in my opinion. They referenced them too much, which I think just added to another story on top of like 10 other stories they were trying to tell. And that brings me back to the plot of this movie. I think this is where the movie kind of struggled for me. I will say the first 15 minutes, I actually was like super bored. I was like, where is this going? This is not hooking me. These backstories they're trying to explain is not taking me where I want to go. And I was really down on it. And then Michael Keaton hit the screen, and that totally kind of changed where I was at that point in time. And I will say this, Michael Keaton absolutely kills it. He, to me, feels like he was Beetlejuice yesterday. Like, he did not miss a beat. He made this movie so fun for me. Every single time this guy hit the screen, I was enthralled. I was excited. I was laughing. I mean, I was impressed by him and what he was doing and how he was acting. I was like, oh my God, this guy is Beetlejuice. It feels like I'm watching the movie I watched in 1988. And that was refreshing to me. You could tell he loved this. He has said he wanted to do this, and you could tell he did not dial this in. Now, the problem I had was a lot of the stuff going on around him. I think he was amazing. I actually think a lot of the returning characters were really good. Like Catherine O'Hara, who, again, I haven't seen too much. Like, I mean, she was in Curb, and she had a really weird role there. I didn't know what to expect with her because I haven't really followed her career much. Part of me felt like she was, I don't know, was she having health issues at one point? I know she gained a lot of weight at one point, I thought. But when I saw her here, I wasn't sure what to expect. And man, she killed it for me as well. It felt like she stepped out of that movie last year and did the sequel. Like, this is 36 years later. She looked great. She acted great for her role. Um, then you had Winona Ryder come back. I know she's done a little bit. I thought she did well. I mean, I thought she did fine for what her character was supposed to be. It was good to see the family back together. Jenna Ortega's character, who played Lydia's daughter, I think she did fine too. I think that she did fine. Now, the problem is there was just a lot of new characters getting put in here, which, in my opinion, a lot of these new characters and the plots that they tried to set up for them were completely useless. Useless. There was no need for a lot of these characters that they added into the story to be here. Like I said, I saw a character in the trailer and I was like, I don't know, this doesn't really fit. That was the most pointless character in this movie. It did nothing to this movie. It did nothing to change this. There was one plot line in this movie that has to do with Jenna Ortega that I feel like that could have been the whole movie. That's the plot line right there. They could have used exactly what happened to get everybody together, to get to the underworld, the outer world, underworld, and just have fun. All this other stuff going on, you're trying to pay attention what's going on over here. Hey, what's this person up to? Okay, what's going on here? Okay, this person. There was so much fluff. There was so much stuff. It almost felt overstuffed, I guess you could say. And that was a little bit disheartening for me. I think that they tried to just give us a little too much for some reason where the story was right there. Like, that story was right there the whole time. And all this other shit was just distractions for what, in my opinion, could have been a fantastic movie. Obviously, it's hard to replicate something that came out and that was a huge success 36 years ago. I get it. I don't feel like the movie was strong as far as story, but I think the movie was strong as far as characters. Michael Keaton, Catherine O'Hara, Winona Ryder, Jenna Ortega, like those characters, and there was one other one that was a pretty good character in the movie, is what worked for me. Everything else didn't work for me. So when it comes to this movie, I'm going to say I liked it overall, and I think it had to do with just the idea of, oh my God, like Michael Keaton is back at as Beetlejuice and absolutely killed this whole movie, like killed in a good way. Like, he absolutely just blew me away, and I want to see more of that. Now, I think the effects, the world building, I think all of that worked well. Even the opening scene, you're going through the town, everything aesthetically looked great. My only big issue with the movie was they were trying to do too many things at once, and a lot of those things were unnecessary to the movie, and it kind of took you out of the exciting stuff that was going on. If they would have just kept kind of a straight line, and had one big plot line, that would have been fine. But I don't know. I don't know why they needed to add all these other characters in here. Even big name actors that were in here, I thought were unnecessary to this story. They didn't really bring anything to the table besides, all right, let's go back to this person and figure out what they're up to instead of what we're focusing on over here. So again, I think if I had to rate this movie out of 10, 6.5 maybe out of 10. I think maybe 7, maybe. Like I said, it was nobody's fault, but I think the writing, everything else just really worked for me. I think it was just the story. The story was too all over the place. There was one story out of all the stories that, in my opinion, worked, And I wish that was the primary story there than me feeling like I was getting pulled in three other directions, which at the end of the day, once this thing was all over, you're kind of like, yeah, none of that was really needed here. So again, that was kind of my brief spoiler-free review on Beetlejuice. Do I recommend people checking it out? Absolutely. It's doing well as far as I know. I think, could there be a possibility for a third one? Sure, it could be a possibility for a third one. I think what people liked about this one was all the practical stuff, all of the creatures. And with that being said, maybe if they're going to do a third one, just make it a little bit more like the cartoon. Just make it balls out. Like, let's just get crazy creatures in there. Let's just make this thing balls to the walls. It doesn't even have to even take itself serious. Like, let's just show all this stuff. Like, you ever saw the movie like Destroy All Neighbors or something like that? That's recently came out. Something like that where it's just all these crazy characters just having fun. Like, I mean, I think if we're going to get one more, just go balls out with it and give us all that kind of stuff and just make it one, fun farewell, I guess, than try to make it too serious and stuff. So I don't know. That is kind of my take on Beetlejuice. I'm a little above average with it. I wasn't blown away. I had fun with it though. I really did. I will watch it again. I think this is one that I will go back to. I mean, not often, but definitely when it comes out of physical media, I'd want to go back to it again and just, see if there's anything I missed. But that's just kind of my initial reaction on this. I mean, again, everybody that came back, including Bob, I see somebody talking about Bob. I was happy with all the different creatures we saw. I liked them. I think that they were really cool as well. The effects were fantastic. The aesthetics was fantastic. There was just a little bit of unnecessary plot lines that really just kind of took me out of a lot of it. But yeah, I didn't want to go crazy with it. But what I'll do now is I'll go back to the chat. I'll see what you guys have to say. I'm only going to pull comments I don't think are spoiler-ish. And then we'll come back to me and I'm going to rant a little bit. I got a rant about something Beetlejuice related. What up, Zombie? What up, man? Alex, how are you? Of course I played that, man. What up, Dead Pit? Which I got Dead Pit Radio. I'm assuming this is West. People entitled to their own opinion on whatever, but the word love is thrown around. Of course it is. Love is thrown around quite a lot. Toxic positive. Yeah, there's a lot of people that will just love everything. And again, I don't know if it's to save face with other people or companies or possible collaborations. I don't know what it is. I think sometimes that has to do with it, to be quite honest with you. But I just gotta be honest. What up, John Doe? I agree with that, but honestly, I had a lot of fun with it. I mean, fun is I actually, you know what, to be honest, when people say I had fun with it, to me that always seems like a wicked cop-out answer, especially if a movie's terrible. But it does kind of work for this movie. I will say that. It was fun. That's probably the best way to put it, because it's not that it was like compelling or it wasn't like, oh yeah, this is such a cool story. I just think it was fun. Like, Michael Keaton made this fun. I laughed. There was times I laughed at this movie, and to be honest, I don't usually laugh out loud at movies much anymore. This one I did. I think he absolutely was fantastic. Fantastic in it. He made me laugh the same way he did when I was, I don't know, 7 years old watching it for the first time. What up, Gus? What up, Brian? Antonis, what's up, man? B Maggot in the house. The juice is loose. What up, Tape Rot? How are you, man? I would love to see an unmade Beetlejuice 90s called Beetlejuice. I heard about that. I remember that. But then I think, didn't they turn that into a cartoon episode? I don't remember. I'm actually kind of chipping away at the cartoon now. Yeah, man, I did not spoil it. I will not spoil it for you. If you caught anything I said, it was basically just me saying the pros and cons, nothing in detail, and then at the end of the day, my opinion. Yeah, and that's gonna have to do with my rant in a minute. Ayo, what's up, everyone? Kid like button for this rad. Thank you, Mel. That's Mel over My Kill Podcast. One little rad pack. Again, like I said, when this is done, if you haven't, please go check out the video we just dropped yesterday on my channel. It's me and Mel talking about movies to check out if you like Beetlejuice. So if you said, "Oh, I loved it. It was fun. I like this movie," you got to go check out that video. Go check it out. B Mag, I saw the film on Saturday as well. I'll say my thoughts until after we hear yours. Sure, man. Yeah. Like I said, as long as you don't spoil anything, you can throw your thoughts in here. I enjoyed the film. Yeah, there was some flaws, but definitely wasn't Dumb and Dumber. Right? I mean, yeah. I mean, I would say as a sequel that far along, I think it was okay. Like this to me, and I think even Wes said something about this because I felt the same way. It like kind of gave me the same feeling as like Frozen Empire, the last Ghostbuster movie, where there was like glimpses of me being like, "Ooh, okay, cool," but then there was other parts that kind of took me out of it. But I will say this: the more and more I think about Frozen Empire, the less I like it. So coming out of it, I liked it more than I do now, but it kind of felt that way to me. And I agree. Dumb and Dumber 2, Anchorman 2, I didn't care for either of those. I mean, Jim Carrey always will have a special place in my heart. So, I mean, I'll never hate it. I didn't hate it. I thought it was fun to see them together. It just didn't feel the same. I felt like this did kind of feel the same. As close as I think you could make it this far, in the future. Anchorman 2, like, nah, I mean, but I'm not a really big Will Ferrell guy anyways, so, like, he can't save me in the movie, like, so I didn't care for the sequel to that at all. What up, Hervé? I thought it was good, not great, but good. Yeah, kind of like in the same boat, for sure. What's up, Gora Taiga? What the? Me and Wet Movie are doing live streams about Beetlejuice at the same time? We'll go tell him I said what's up. What up, Chris? How are you, man? Good to see you in here, dude. Checking it out this week. What up, Perry Fan? 100%. 73, man. Yeah, he was freaking fantastic. I thought they all looked great, though, too. Like, obviously, he had the makeup on. I thought he looked good. I thought Winona Ryder looked really good. I thought Catherine O'Hara looked really good. Like, I was shocked at how good everybody looked 36 years later. Like, that's mind-blowing to me, on how good everybody still looked. So, bravo to them. And guys, there's a lot of people, 75 people in here right now. Hit that like button. Definitely support. It'll help the channel. Support the channel. Doesn't cost anything. If you're not subbed up, sub to this channel if it's something you are interested in, if you're having a good time. And if you want to share this out and let people know I am live, I am not done yet because I'm about to rant in a couple minutes. What up, Resilience? Slippy updates, John Trick or Treat, please. Not that I know of. I mean, I know a little bit, but I haven't heard any updates from him yet. But I will say this. If it was me, I would at least put a pre-order out right now. That's it. Just a pre-order. Just get people excited. I will say it was better than the Peter Stress Goes Afterlife. I loved Afterlife. But again, I also find that I also am not as much in love with Afterlife as I was when I first saw it. I mean, I think it was an emotional kick in the ass for me when I saw it in the theater the first time. And I think that really took over my feelings and how much I liked it. But then going back and watching it multiple times, I think I watched it another 2 more times. It doesn't work for me the same way. I think every time I watch it, I kind of like it a little less. So if you're asking me now, would I prefer to watch this over the last 2 Ghostbusters? I'm going to say yes. But my opinion could change the same way it changed for them. That story was good, and Monica Bellucci was a queen. Dude, I don't know, man. I thought she was awful. Um, I thought it was a big waste of time. Um, Big waste. I thought she was the biggest waste of time out of anybody in the movie. And there was more people, in my opinion, that were huge wastes of time. Like you take her out, nothing changes. Nothing changes. The only thing that changes is you maybe do not get a cameo of someone else. Adrian, what's up, man? What up, Davey Deathray? How are you, buddy? Thanks for being here, dude. Oh, 100%. He felt like he never left. B Magus has agreed. The first 15 minutes didn't hook me at all. Keaton was 100% back. Yeah, that agree. I remember when we're sitting there and I'm like waiting for something to happen and they're trying to build like a story and kind of telling you what everybody's up to now. I'm like, this is pretty freaking boring. So I'm glad Michael Keaton hit that screen hard because that was really it was really snooze fest for me. Catherine Harris usually a highlight for me. Oh, she was great. Blew me away. Because I wasn't sure what to expect. Like I said, I haven't really seen her. I don't watch a lot of TV. So like the last thing I've ever seen her in, I think, was like Curb Your Enthusiasm. She had like a role in there. And I think that was the last I've seen her, and that was probably a couple of years ago. So I didn't know what she was up to. The only thing I didn't like about her, not in the movie, but when the movie was filmed, she went on Twitter or something and basically said, "If you don't like the movie, like you suck," or something like that. Like some kind of shitty comment that I feel like actors and actresses um, shouldn't make, and directors and writers, like they shouldn't come out and basically say that because it's trying to force feed an opinion, and then if you don't have that opinion, then it becomes all right. Let's hop on this person and try to cancel them for not liking something. Like I hate all that stuff. So that was kind of a bummer for me that she came out and said that right after this was filmed. I don't know the exact verbatim, but it was something along those lines. So what's up, John? Oh, I already said it. I'm super impressed with the sequel. So far off from the original, honestly. Um, yeah, I mean, it was. It felt like I felt like this had a similar tone as like Frozen Empire, where it almost felt like it didn't feel like a sequel. It kind of felt almost like an episode off the original. Like this just kind of felt like it was. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like I felt like this felt more like an episode of a show than it did a movie. B Mag says I like the new movie, didn't love it. The original's a masterpiece. 10 out of 10. 7 out of 10. It's pretty good. I feel 3 or 4 Beatles movies into one. It's really 3 or 4 Beatles movies into one. It's really fun though. Yeah. This was unfortunately pretty mad. Me, Keaton, they're awesome, and just about everyone else felt phoned in. The villain. Yeah. Very much nothing burgers. Now I will say Defoe, like to me, I don't know. He was the character was okay, but I just don't feel like we even needed him. Really. Really wanted to love it. I'm a big fan of the original, but overall I just didn't buy it. Well, again, I'm glad to see people are going from both angles because it sucks when, the train is everybody just love everything. So it's good to see people are out there being like, well, you know what, I didn't love it. And it doesn't matter if I'm, at a lower percent because I think just by what I've seen or who I've talked to, like I said, I've only watched one review. I've had other people reach out to me. It does seem like most people really like this one. What's up, Durbin? No more Skarsgård. Guys at everything. Guys at everything. Joe Reese, what's up? More Bob. Yeah, we got a lot of Bob in this one. I hate Beetlejuice and no plans to watch it. Holy mackerel, Joe Reese coming out of nowhere. Let's see. I already ordered that. Yeah, ordered it. I did kind of like the other one I saw better, but I had already ordered that, and then they showed a picture of another one, which was like purple, and it had the sandworm with the number 2. I thought that was cool. I was supposed to. What's up, man? But I didn't. I was supposed to go with my brother and his wife, but it just didn't work out. We've all been so busy. we have like one left. We had two, and one just recently closed. So we have one, but I mean, I haven't been there in, I don't know, 10 years, maybe more. Um, but yeah, we wanted to, but we just didn't have the time. Um, what up, Razor's Edge? No, they had one, but that's one I've had for a long time. What up, last movie standing? I have to give all modern movies more than one viewing because I've really been let down. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna be honest, and I always sound like kind of a, I don't know. I think people think I'm a little too negative when it comes to certain things. Positive in one area is negative when it comes to modern movies. It takes a lot to impress me now. That's the problem. And a lot of people are like, oh, you got to give it a break. It's not the '80s. Well, I'm just tired of like mediocre stuff. So I will be honest with movies, and I think my expectations are higher than I think a lot of people's nowadays. So again, like I said, I did like the Ghostbusters movies coming out of it. Now I like them a little bit less, so maybe that is a good thing. Like you said, watched a couple times. But yeah, it takes a little bit more for me to buy into some new stuff. I just is Hollywood feels different to me. Movies feel different than they did even 10 years ago. But I'm at a point now where it's like I'm very picky on what I'm going to even bother watching because I don't want to review things and be negative. I don't want to watch something and be like, oh, crappy or whatever. I pick and choose now. Like anything Marvel, I won't watch it. Even DC won't watch it. And again, maybe they're great, but it's just not, doesn't feel like a movie that I would like. So I usually just kind of stay away from it. And there's just so much out there, like between not only that, but doing this show and I have physical media to watch and movies coming in, and I barely have time to get to that stuff. And then if I'm doing shows and it's about a theme and it's like I want to rewatch stuff, like I just don't have a lot of time to set on watching a lot of newer stuff. So I've just got to be picky and choosy because I don't want to feel like things become a time waster because I'm spending time going to the theater when I've got all this other stuff to do. So it's hard to kind of keep up, but I agree. I am a little bit harder on modern stuff, but at the same time, there are things that I like that people like, oh, that was terrible. Like I'm one of the people that said Halloween Ends is all right. Like, was it the best way to finish that franchise? No. But as a movie, did I hate it? No. So I mean, again, it's interesting. That's why opinions are important, and we shouldn't all feel like we have to love the same things or hate the same things. Yeah, I thought so. I thought that's what they ended up doing. Nah, that wasn't my rant. What up, caveman? 75 people watching, 27 likes. Yeah, man, there's 85 now. Hit the likes, guys. Come on. Again, it doesn't cost anything. Just hit the likes. Unless you're just here because you want to hear me rant, you really don't give a shit about the content in general. Yeah, kind of my same opinion. Same opinion. Did the whole movie look cheap? No, I don't think it looked cheap. I thought it looked good. It did. It felt the same, but it did feel a little bit different than the original one. I will say. I wouldn't say cheap. I don't know. It's a good question, man. I wouldn't say it felt cheap, but at the same time, I do feel like it did feel the same but different. Like, how, and you guys might not have seen it, but do you know how Hocus Pocus 2 felt similar but different than the original one? It's the kind of the same feel for me. Maybe it was even the way it was shot, like it didn't feel as authentic, I guess you would say. I don't know. I do hear what you're saying, and I do feel like there was a difference. And it could just be, modern, just we're in modern times. I think that could have just be it. Sorry, I'm just going through. Stay Puffin the New August is kind of, but no, not him. But there's there's things like him in it. Well, I can spoil that. There's little ones. There's like baby ones, and they're like there's like tons of them. So there's no big Stay Puft. What up, Dirt? How are you, buddy? Dude, I could be. I don't even know the backstory. Who is she? I don't even know. What is she to Tim? And if that's the case, it's probably exactly why she's in it. How do I feel about Jenna Ortega? I think she's fine. I'm not, I'm not someone that's like, oh, I gotta see this Jenna Ortega's in it. I could care less. She was fine though. What's your favorite Keaton film? One Good Cop, My Life. I never seen My Life. One Good Cop's a good one. I would probably have to say Batman 89. It's not that he's the best in that movie. That's just my favorite movie he's in. I like Pacific Heights. I'm trying to think of anything else that really stands out. Obviously Beetlejuice. Yeah, Michael Keaton is in Dream Team, yeah. What theater did I go to? I went to a Showcase theater. What up, Ela? Yeah, there was a cartoon series, yeah. All right, I will 36 Years Married. Did I hate? Did I hate on it? I don't think so. There's people that say that. Yeah. They probably don't watch that bit. That's because that if they think I'm negative, they probably just stay away from them. All right. So my rant has to do with Beetlejuice, but it has to do with a company that I love, a company that I've loved for a long time and I still think does fantastic work. And we talk about this when it comes to physical media, boutique labels all the time. And the problem is with a lot of companies now, and this is going beyond the physical media realm because we see it all the time, is people will announce shit to get the hype or announce shit to be like, hey, we're the first, or announce stuff before it's needed or before it's ready, I guess you would say. And Neca decided they were going to release and announce a prop replica figure. And they announced it on Friday for something in this movie that nobody even knew about. Now, was this thing a big importance to the movie? Not really, but enough of a shock that they didn't put it in the trailer. And it's one of those things where it's like, when I saw that, I saw it and I said, oh, this is cool or this is stupid. I don't know what this is. So I messaged Mel because I knew she had seen Beetlejuice and I said, listen, I don't want to know anything about the movie. Can you just tell me if this thing is in the movie or not? Because I like to collect prop replicas, right? Like I like to collect things that look like they were from a movie that I might like. And I said, so I'm on the fence of like, is this real or not? So number one, if it's real, I might be interested in it, but I'm also going to be pissed because it's Friday and this movie hasn't even been out 12 hours yet. And they're already dropping shit of action figures of stuff from the movie that like I didn't even know existed. And that's what really pissed me off. Or it didn't exist and they just made it up, which means I don't want it because it's pretty stupid if they just made it up. But it just is like, what the hell were they thinking? And I looked at the comments and everybody was pissed. And then I even chimed in and said, what are you spoiling shit for? Like, that's so stupid. Why couldn't have that waited to at least Monday? Did we need to put a pre-order up the day the movie came out with an item from the movie that nobody even knew about at that point? Like, what the hell are they thinking? Is it just like, what? Like, oh, like, look what we did. Like, dude, fucking wait. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. That needed to come out that day. Seriously, that spoiled a again, you might think it's stupid, but it was something from the movie that, again, nobody knew existed because it could have had to do with the plot, especially now when you know that, like, um, you knew that the woman in it was, like, supposedly his bride, right? So you knew there was something there, but all of a sudden they're dropping this shit of these figures and stuff that they're doing from the movie the day it comes out. Like, who is that for? The people that saw it early? Like, I don't understand the mindset of a lot of companies that'll just, like, do this kind of stuff where it's just almost like everybody wants, like, who's got the bigger jock contest over here, and let's throw it out there, and let everybody praise us. Nobody praised. People were pissed. That comment section was loaded with people bullshit. People saying I'm unfollowing, da 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 da. It was a pretty stupid thing to do. And I love Neca. I love their shit. I buy their shit all the time. But what a dumb thing to do for a company to showcase the shit that they're putting out for pre-order the day a movie comes out. Like, I don't know. That's what's annoying nowadays, especially with social media and all that stuff. Like, if you want to see a movie, I saw it on Saturday, and I literally had to, like, every time I saw anything Beetlejuice, I had to keep scrolling and all this other shit. And the reason I stopped on that is because it was so unique that I was like, is this fake? What is this? And sure enough, it was a real thing. And I just was like flabbergasted that they would have done that. I don't know. I think it was just really stupid. And as much as it wasn't a huge spoiler, if you take anything from that movie that they were going to make into a figure, I mean, I don't know what else you could have done that would have been any more of a spoiler than what they already did. So I don't know. It's just one of those things that really, really rubbed me the wrong way. And I just think it goes to every company out there. I don't care if they're doing figures or physical media or whatever. Like just wait for the right time to announce something. Um, and it could be, like we said, a lot of companies that are announcing shit early, and then all of a sudden it's not ready for a long time. Like, we've seen it happen before, and it was just one of those things that if anybody in here saw that as well, I'm curious to see what you thought. And I'm shocked that they didn't take it down, because the hate that they were getting over that post was pretty big if you look at those comments. And it really just pissed me off because I tried so hard to avoid all reviews. I did have some people message me and just say, you know, yo, did you see Beetlejuice? I loved it. And I responded back and said, I haven't. I'll see it tomorrow. Don't tell me anything. And that's kind of the extent of the conversation. Dead Pit put a review out early. Mel put a review out early. I didn't watch anybody's. And then I saw it last night, and I did watch Mel's this morning. Dead Pits is on queue to watch because, again, originally I was going to record the video this morning, and I just didn't. Things happened. So I didn't want to watch too many reviews because I didn't want it to sway my opinion on the movie before I either did a video, went live, or whatever. But yeah, I just think it's just one of those things that it's like these companies have to be a little bit more mindful of their audience, because it's just it sucks to get something spoiled for you. I mean, again, I don't get to the theater a lot. I pick and choose things I'm going to go see. And to try to take all this time to avoid any kind of spoiler, and then NECA Toys decides that they're going to just show you a big surprise from the movie that you didn't know existed, like the day it comes out, it just really kind of pissed me off. But yeah, that was the rant. It wasn't a rant necessarily about the movie, but it was a rant about that incident and other companies kind of doing the same kind of shit. And, hopefully, people get better at that, because again, we're the customers, right? So why piss people off and do something like that? I would have been just as excited or more excited if they gave you that announcement Monday. At least give some people a couple days to check this movie out. Instead, I'm like, well, what is this thing? Why are they doing this? And oh shit, they just spoiled something from a movie that I'm going to go pay to watch. So I don't know. I'm going to go back to the chat, see if you guys know what I'm talking about. And then we'll get into a couple questions, and like I said, try not to spoil, but I'll do my best to answer whatever you guys have. I'll let you know what's coming up on the channel, and then we'll bounce out of here in probably about 20 minutes. Let me see. I'm way behind, so I'm going to skip over a bunch of stuff here. Let me see. All right, where am I? People talking about this. Durbin, what's up, man? He says, "What is the name of the horror movie coming to theaters this fall with that garbage?" Yeah, what is that? That actually looks pretty fun. I did see the trailer for. I don't remember what it's called, but it does look pretty cool. It almost looks like like something from like Munchies or whatever, um, or Munchie. Did Scream Factory announce later year releases the other day? Yes. There wasn't anything too crazy though. So Legos have done it. He said, "So we saw the film on Wednesday night, and I was still pissed they leaked that figure so quickly, too soon." Dude, 100%. Like Friday, Friday. The movie came out. It's supposed to come out Friday, but it had like an early screening on Thursday and Wednesday and Thursday. But normal movies come out on Friday. So the fact that you would do it the day of, technically, where most people will see a movie. I mean, opening weekend, don't do that shit. Yeah, I mean, it was dumb. And the sad thing is I do want the damn thing. Um, anyways, so it doesn't even matter. Um, it's annoying. Yeah, I mean, it does. And that's the sad thing. I even said something to Mel earlier. She's like, "You know, put a review up." I said, I could. I said, but it's Saturday still feels like, you missed the boat because everybody's seeing it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday morning, Friday. So by the time Saturday comes, most people are like, I've heard about it. I don't need to hear everybody's opinion about it. But it didn't live. I feel like I could have talked about the Neca thing, so I figured I'd throw it all out there for you guys. But yeah, like that's what's crazy is that nowadays even Saturday is late, and these companies are like, "Oh, they had 2 days. They had 2 days of an early screening. They could have watched it." Like, not everybody had access to that. So yeah, it's crazy, dude. Right? I just looked at what it was. I can't believe they dropped it. Yeah, dude. Like it wasn't even. It was like I don't know, the afternoon, I think, or something, maybe. I don't remember when it was. I just remember sending it to her. I think it might have been like 3 o'clock in the afternoon or something. 100%. They'll love it. Get out of here. I like Corey Hart, but you can't say that. Haim is the best. Um, yeah, it did. It was. I mean, opening weekend is a big one. Friday, Saturday, those are always the two big ones. Back in the day, I used to do the Thursday night at midnight into Friday, and that was always like the first show. Like you had to go at midnight if you wanted to see it early, and that's where you always got the hardcore fans. Obviously, things were different. I was in my 20s at the time, like things were just different. But yeah, I can remember that's where everybody went. All those horror movies that came out back then, 12 o'clock Thursday, 11:50, 11:30, we get to the theater Thursday night. And that was like the earliest, you know. So like that would have been great back in the day if I had YouTube because I would have went to like every show. I used to go to every big horror movie at that time. And now it's like the first show's like Thursday at 6. Now I think even Beetlejuice had one showing on Wednesday, right? So it's different. I don't even think they do midnight shows anymore. I think it's just like normal because there's sometimes where I'll get out of work on a Thursday and I usually get out about 9. And there's been times where I'm like, oh shit, you know what? Maybe I can swing by and catch a movie at like 11 or something. And all of a sudden I'll look it up and it was like, oh, the last showing was at 8. And I'm like, what the hell? So yeah, it is. It's very different now. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Dylan, I unfollowed Neca. They did something like this with Alien Romulus weeks back. So I chose to do Deadpool. Pretty shitty. Yeah, I don't understand the concept of that. Like, why can't you wait at least till Monday? I'm even saying Monday, which is what that's giving you 5 days to see it, and that's even early. Like, did we really need that now? I mean, that's the thing. Like, even someone like me, I didn't even know what that was because it was so out there. that I had to message somebody that saw it, and I said, "Listen, I know I didn't want a spoiler, but just let me know if this is real because they either just ticked off a lot of people for no reason, or they just made up a random thing that I'll never buy." So it's just crazy that I had to even go through that, or anybody for that matter, because I'm sure everybody that even in the comments, people are like, "Did you just spoil this shit for me?" Because this wasn't anything in the trailer. So obviously the company wanted it to be kind of like a somewhat of a surprise or somewhat of a like a aha moment, but ruined. Um yeah, it'll be a cool collector's item, no doubt. But I hate that they just and I think Neca does a hell of a job. Those Chucky dolls behind me, these two, Neca, amazing. Probably the best Chucky dolls I have. Um, and that's Neca. So I mean, I love Neca, and I know that this will be an awesome item, but it's like, come on now. Like, well, who's the brains behind that operation? You didn't think if you waited a week, no one would buy it? Like, oh, it doesn't make any sense to me. I literally tell people I'm going dark, and now going to open my phone, people jump dress. Yeah, it's hard, man. It really is, really, really hard. Frankie Frico is an old 90s movie. Some of the ways. Oh, is that the name of that movie you were talking about? Hey, dude, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe because it dropped on Wednesday or Thursday for a couple showings that technically no. But I mean, Jesus, I'm sure the studio wouldn't have been happy regardless. Um, yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. Yeah. Midnight shows are fun, man. Midnight shows were a trip because that's where you got all the hardcore fans. So I mean, every time you went to those midnight showings, you got people that were really into this shit. So like it was a fun crowd. People clapping, people, excited. Um, there was a lot of times there was standing ovations. I will tell you, and I've mentioned this on a show. There was two times I went to a midnight showing and the crowd booed at the end of the movie. Two times. Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows, and Halloween 2, Rob Zombie. Those two movies were the only two movies that the theater completely booed at the end of the movie. Um, and I'll never forget it. But again, those were all hardcore people that stayed up that late to go. Saturday was the big money maker for new releases since most people go up. Yeah, I mean, Saturday makes the most sense. I mean, again, just like in the sense that they should at least know these companies that like at least Saturday is when most families are probably going out. Yeah, it's been a while. Like I said, I mean, time for me flies now that I'm older. Like I feel like I was 20 like 10 years ago. So it really has been a long time, but I was doing that probably from 18 to 25, probably maybe a little bit more longer that I was hitting all those midnight showings. Even things like H2O and Jason X and Jason vs. Freddy and House of a Thousand Corpses and Rob Zombie's Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Remake, like all those movies. Damn, you had to go to the movies at almost midnight after work, dude. Listen, like 100%. What do you think I do all these shows? All my shows are 11:30 because that's like the only time I have free. And usually when I do these shows, yeah, it's Sunday. But like if you notice, I'll do a lot of like 11:30 shows on a Tuesday because that's Wednesday. I don't have to be in work in the morning. So I'll do a lot of my shows Tuesday night late. I'll do like a live show. And I'd have been up since 3:30 Tuesday morning. So yeah, I would go because it goes back to I don't have any other time to do it. So sometimes I just have to just get it done if I want to see something. Um, I don't know if you discussed this during the Vinegar Syndrome. Yeah, there's one because I was working, and I totally forgot that it was going on. I missed Vice Academy. Is that what it's called? The Linnea Quigley one. I have it. I have the little thing. I've got like a Blu-ray. but not a Vinegar Syndrome one. I would have loved to have that. But what's crazy is I hear those things sold out in seconds, like some of those drops, which is wild to me. But I would have loved to have that one. That's the only one. I played. I don't remember the Beetlejuice NES game. I really don't. Interesting. Neca doesn't make work. Doesn't excuse poor timing. Yeah, I agree. I love them, but I just think that was a really stupid thing to do. Well, I mean, people can like it or not like it. I don't really give a shit. I don't even know what is this name here. Anyway, Eric G 713 number CDB. I don't even know what that is. Are you a real person? Troll? Bot? What is it? Yeah, I did. I'm old, man. I'm old. Sometimes you're just gonna do it. Sometimes you're just gonna do it. You're gonna get that rad energy. A lot of caffeine in this body too. I will say that. Probably not too long because I think Crow is like next week, right? I haven't seen it yet, but I will. Uh I would say not that I know of, but I mean they could. Like I said, I think that they did really well with this as far as the actors and actresses. Um, what up, Daily Ghost? I love your late night shows, Pacific time. Thanks, man. I don't see you a lot in the chat. I mean, I know you from being supporting the channel for a long time, so thanks for being here. But yeah, make sure you say what's up in the lives. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I would have loved to have that. I actually don't. I didn't get. I never got it. I missed out on it. That was back in the day when those like VSAs were selling out quick, but like people weren't really realizing how fast they were selling out. So you kind of always like, oh yeah, I'll get it eventually, and it was gone. I would have loved to get it, but I didn't even. I forgot that the sale was even dropping every day. So I think that was Monday. I was working. I had to work on Labor Day, and then all of a sudden I got done work and I opened it up and I saw it. It said sold out. I'm like, son of a bitch. That's honestly the only one I wanted. What up, Tiana? Thanks for being here, kid. Do I have all the Cynthia Rock? I believe so. I could be wrong. They airs a lot, but I'm almost 90% sure I do. They need to give me Fast Getaway 1 and 2 box set, though. And you know what else, too? Like, I felt like it was kind of confusing because you had to, like, search for it, right? Like, you had to, like, click the sale, then click Monday. It was like, I wish it would have just showed up in the front of the page every day, like, what was on sale. But yeah, I heard a lot of people say things were gone within, like, a minute. But luckily, it's good and bad. I had pretty much everything else besides that. So it didn't matter to me. But at the same time, I also paid full price for everything, too. Yeah, I mean, I like Vinegar Syndrome. I know people give them a lot of shit because their title's not the greatest, but I always find them a pretty fascinating company. Um, and I'm always hoping to find gems, you know, because that's the coolest thing now for me is finding something that I'm like, oh my god, like what a great flick, and I didn't even know it existed until now. So right now I'm kind of going back and watching a lot of going through my DVDs and going through them and be like, oh man, I might have only seen this once when it came out and rewatch it. And maybe there's some hidden gems in here because I forget. A lot of things start feeling the same after a while, especially during that time. Ah, I see. Well, welcome to the show, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Welcome, Eric. Summertime Blues. What's up? Sorry tonight with the family. I liked it. My son liked it, but not my wife, who is big Beatles. That is very interesting that you say that because I went with mine and she's a huge. That's like our favorite movie, and she hated it. Hated it. So that is interesting that that you say that because that's exactly what happened. I was like, oh, it was pretty good. It was fun. There was issues with it. She's like, yeah, it was the worst. So I hear you, man. And it's her favorite movie. Um, I was able to, to grab Sworn to Justice. Number 4 was gone. I couldn't get. Nice. Yeah. See, luckily I have all those, but yeah, I know people were excited for it. Girlfriend from Hell. Yes, it's actually a pretty good movie. Yep. Vinegar Syndrome put it out. It killed it. They killed it. Now, the thing is too, is like I'm just so interested in like, how everybody says like, oh, CGI is just it takes, it's so less time, it's less money. Like I'm curious to see how long it took Burton to put a lot of this shit together. With all the stuff he did. Um yeah, I think a lot of these companies that take off from Vinegar Syndrome, besides maybe TerraVision are doing pretty good, but a lot of them I feel like have a little bit of a tough time. I think it's just the exposure. Vinegar Syndrome is so good at hyping. It's so good at exposure. It's so good at prettying things up and polishing things up and talking things up. And I think a lot of these companies that bounce to do their own thing just don't have that same machine behind them that makes it work for Vinegar Syndrome. I do, however, like oh my god, I can't even think about it. Who's the company that's putting out? They're putting out. Oh my god, I just pre-ordered 2 titles from them. They're doing okay, but they've got to. I think they got to get more hype behind their stuff. What's the one at Phoebe Cates? Paradise something. They're releasing that, and I just ordered the other one, the aerobics one, the fitness one, the dance one. Oh my god, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's late, guys. But yeah, they're doing okay. I still buy some stuff from them. Yeah, I think it was. I don't know why it took so long. I really don't. Um, let me see. But yeah, I mean that was I can't think of what the name of that company is now, but they got away from Vinegar Syndrome and I think they're doing okay. TerraVision's doing okay. But anyway, this was more or less about Beetlejuice. Like I said, fun show we put out yesterday. So go to my videos, check out the one we did yesterday. It's called 10 movies to check out if you like Beetlejuice. I think that's a real fun video. Keep your eyes on the channel because we've got more stuff coming out. Friday the 13th is coming next week, so I will have an awesome video dropping. I have a video dropping on the channel with Planet CHH, and we talk all things Friday the 13th. And you definitely want to check that one out. Very cool. We showcase a lot of cool stuff. And that one will be dropped on Friday. I will be hitting up Silver Scream Con this weekend. So if anybody's from the area and they like Silver Scream, if they are going to be at Silver Scream Con and you see me, feel free to come say what's up. We'll take a picture or something. Again, you'll know me before I know you. So don't hesitate to come up and say what's up. I will be there all weekend and I'll be at the concert on Saturday night. And I'm hoping to come back here Saturday night live and talk about Silver Scream, my experience, what I got, who I saw there. So yeah, definitely check that out on the channel. And there is one other thing I'm working on this week, and it's going to be on Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'll be here back Tuesday or Wednesday, definitely. But unfortunately, I don't have mine yet. I don't know why it's taking so long. He's got his. Fun City Edition. That's what it is. Yes. Yeah, I got it. I got the slips, man. Yeah, so they seem to be doing okay over there. I like their stuff. Right? I guess a lot of people are going to be there from the YouTube community and stuff like that too. So it'll be cool to kind of hang with them, get some lunch, watch some music, listen to some music, watch some Ice Nine Kills. Yeah. Those are going to be awesome. So I'm happy to see that they're doing stuff like that. Big Phoebe Cates guy over here. So, guys, Again, want to make this short and sweet. Thank you, everybody, for coming and checking this out live. Let me know down below in the comment section when you do see Beetlejuice, what you thought of it. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Like I said, I had fun. It's not perfect. It had some problems, but I also can appreciate everything it gave us 36 years later. So, again, keep your eyes on the channel. Go check out that video we posted yesterday talking about other movies you should check out if you like Beetlejuice, and hopefully you can find some hidden gems in there. And this is Garrett at Born2beRad, and like always, stay